Hey, what's up, meatballs? Mr. Meathook here. I'm here today to talk about Ghostbusters Episode 3, The Force Awakens. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Ghostbusters Afterlife from 2021, originally from 2020. This movie was delayed 4 times. This is supposed to be the Ghostbusters 3 that we always wanted and never got. Now, I'm gonna come straight out and say this review's going to have spoilers. So if you have not seen the movie, you might want to back out. I don't blame you. However, I'm also going to say some things that are probably going to piss some people off. First and foremost, I want to say I did thoroughly enjoy the movie. I had a lot of fun watching it, but I found a lot of flaws with it. My biggest pet peeve, and I understand he's retired, but I hated that Rick Moranis was not in the movie. That was really disappointing. And like I said, I know he's retired, but he is coming back for Shrunk, which is the, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, I don't know, however many Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It's a sequel to that. So it's not like he's completely retired. He's mostly retired. And I know he said he would come back for the right project, and I'm very disappointed that coming back for a third Ghostbusters movie was not the right project for him. I mean, he is his own person, and he is mostly retired, so yeah, he chooses what he wants to do. He did a commercial late last year with Ryan Reynolds for a cell company, so that was cool to see him then, but I would have loved to have seen Lewis in this. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Again, spoilers, back out if you have not seen it. This would be the time to back out. I was not disappointed that we got Ghost Egon in the movie, but I felt like we had too much of him. I think where he guides Phoebe's hand with the photon pack at the end, and then maybe scrolling up to see his face should have been all we saw of him. Other than that, we know he's there. Maybe we can see like a shoulder or something. I think they spent too long on CGI Harold Ramis's face. That's just my opinion. I loved seeing it in the movie. I thought it looked good, but there was too much of it. It took the focus off the fact that the other Ghostbusters were back. I felt like we didn't get enough of the actual Ghostbusters. They were in it for, 5 minutes? I'm not saying I wanted the whole movie to be dedicated to them. I understand this is trying to start like a new generation thing. It was basically throwing Stranger Things and Ghostbusters into a blender. I get that. I'm not upset that they weren't in the whole thing, but a little more would have made me a little happier about it. The part where Phoebe calls Ray, he's not interested at all, and then suddenly, right when they're needed, they show up. That was a really bad plot convenience, and really bad plot conveniences kind of bother me, especially in big budget movies. I am far more forgiving of them in little small micro budget indie movies, but you got a big money movie like this one. I was not a fan of Blue Slimer. I think his name was Muncher, the one that eats metal. He's basically Blue Slimer. I mean, obviously shaped differently, looks differently, but it was essentially Slimer from Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters. But yeah, it was Muncher, and he's blue. I did not like it all because they served no purpose to the plot at all. I did not like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Minions. They should go hang out with Gru and the other minions. Wasn't a fan of those. As someone who works in a restaurant, I can tell you that one thing that bothered me that isn't going to bother a lot of people, but there is no way that Spinners, that little fast food place in the town, could have afforded to have that many people working at one time. There was like 6, 7, 8 people working. In that little tiny town, that would never happen. They couldn't afford that. They wouldn't get that kind of business. They'd be out of business in no time. Also, I thought that like the scope of a small town versus New York City, It didn't even have nearly the same vibe. And then I hated the fact that the third act was just the third act of Ghostbusters all over again, just with new people. They couldn't even come up with another villain. I get it, like a painting in Ghostbusters 2 was not a good villain. That was one of my least favorite parts of it. But no, was not a fan. But overall, like I said, I did enjoy the movie. There was a lot of nostalgia shoved in your face. I also didn't like when Paul Rudd went to the cleanest and emptiest Walmart I've ever seen in my entire life, because obviously it's on a soundstage, but the cleanest and emptiest Walmart I've ever seen in my entire life to get a container of product placement. I'm sorry, Baskin-Robbins ice cream. So yeah, there were a lot of things I didn't like about the movie, but I did have fun watching the movie. And to me, that's always what's important. Big rush of nostalgia, and I'm not the kind of person that normally gets nostalgic for movies, but I got a big rush of nostalgia for this one. I did thoroughly enjoy it. If you like Ghostbusters, definitely go see the movie, although I'm assuming you're probably already seen it if you're still watching. But anyways, don't think I'm shitting on the movie because I didn't like it. I did enjoy the movie. I would have liked to seen less of the kids, although Phoebe was definitely the high point of the movie. Podcast was superfluous. Finn Wolfhard superfluous. They're just unnecessary characters in the movie. The mom was basically just there to become a hellhound. Same with Rick Moranis. Paul Rudd. The Paul Rudd replacing Rick Moranis. You know what I mean. So yeah, I did enjoy it. I'll give it an 8. Like I said, it had a lot of nostalgia. I did have a lot of fun watching it. I just had a lot of problems with it. But the fun that I had and the nostalgia that I had do help to counteract a lot of that. So yes, I'm giving Ghostbusters Episode 3 8 out of 10. I highly recommend as a Ghostbusters fan that you go and watch it. And this is coming from someone that hated Ghostbusters 2. Like, I do not like Ghostbusters 2 at all. Go see Ghostbusters Afterlife if you have not seen it already. Anyways, guys, as always, I want you to be cool, be spoopy, and support independent horror. Deuces.